Breaking news this morning, a person is dead after being hit by a train in southwest Atlanta.
Atlanta News First Don Shipman is live outside Atlanta Police Headquarters with the First Alert Breaking News Tracker. What do we know about this, Don?
We know that Atlanta police, along with the train company, were on the scene for a number of hours during the overnight. And right now, their preliminary investigation shows that this was likely an accident. This right here is what it looked like at the height of the investigation. You can see police officers on the scene. You can see crime scene on the scene as well right there. This is Murphy Avenue, not too far from the MARTA station. This happened here, not at a railroad crossing, instead along this stretch of track in a mostly commercial neighborhood in southwest Atlanta. Police say that the preliminary investigation suggests that this was an accident. Investigators believe that the victim, whose identity is not being released as of yet, may have been sitting or standing on the tracks when the Norfolk Southern train approached. And police say that one of the factors that they're looking into is whether the victim even heard the train coming. Officers on the scene note that these trains can be surprisingly quiet when they're not sounding their alarm. So again, the victim's identity not being released until they notify next of kin or family. Atlanta police and Norfolk Southern both investigating. We did drive by. This happened just after midnight. We drove by just about 30 minutes ago, and the train is still sitting on the tracks as of 30 minutes ago. We're live outside Atlanta Police Headquarters downtown. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.